Long, long ago, in the ancient and sacred city of Ile-Ife, there lived a young woman named Morenike. Nature had been kind to her. Her skin was the color of rich, dark cocoa, and her eyes sparkled like the morning dew on a fresh yam leaf. By all accounts, Morenike was a jewel. But Morenike had a sickness in her soul, a sickness called never enough. While other girls woke up and thanked the Orishas for their breath and their health, Morenike spent her mornings by the riverside, hissing at her own reflection. One hot afternoon, Morenike and her mother, Iya Agba, went to the bush to fetch some firewood. After a long walk under the blazing sun, they stopped by the riverside to rest. Morenike peered into the water, and there she saw it, a tiny, almost invisible blemish on her cheek. In that moment, Morenike did the unthinkable. She stood up, shook her fist at the bright blue heavens, and screamed at the top of her lungs. "The gods of my fathers are lazy," her voice echoed through the thick forest. "They gave me a face that is common. They gave me skin that browns and burns in the sun. If the gods truly had power, they would have made me shine like the sun itself. They have cheated me. The gods have cheated me." The birds in the trees stopped singing. The wind died down to a deathly hush. Iya Agba, who had gone into the bushes to ease herself, came rushing out, trembling with a fear that chilled her bones. "Morenike, quiet!" her mother pleaded, her voice shaking. "You have cursed the Orishas. You have insulted the very hands that molded you. Please, my daughter, come with me to the shrine. We must take palm oil, white pigeons, and bitter kola. We must appease the gods before the sun sets, or your shadow will leave you." But Morenike pushed her mother away with a cold laugh. "I will not appease anyone. Why should I thank them for a job I've done? Why should I bow to the gods who made me ordinary?" That night, the village was silent, but Morenike could not sleep. Her mind was searching and filled with envy. The great festival of Mats was approaching, the day Prince Adewale would choose his wife from among the unmarried girls of the kingdom. Every mother in Ile-Ife was busy. They were sewing beads, weaving fine ashoke, and teaching their daughters how to carry themselves with grace. But Morenike was miserable. She stared at her shoulders, crying that the sun had made them too dull. She looked at her face and whispered that she was not bright enough to catch the prince's eyes. Iya Agba would look at her and sigh. My daughter, a flower does not race against other flowers. It just blooms." But Morenike did not want to bloom. She wanted to blind. 3 days before the festival, Morenike's desperation drove her to the very edge of the Ojaoba market, further than any decent girl should go. There, under the twisted branches of a dying iroko tree, sat a woman. This woman was wrapped in a cloth as black as the moonless midnight. Her face was hidden behind a veil so thick it looked like a wall of shadow. In front of her sat a single small ceramic pot. "I have what you seek," the woman whispered. Her voice sounded like dried leaves rumbling together on a grave. Morenike froze. "How do you know what I seek?" "You want to shine," the woman said, slowly opening the pot. A scent filled the air. At first, it was sweet, like wild honey. But as Morenike breathed it in, there was a hidden smell, the metallic, sour smell of old blood. "This is the 7 moons cream," the stranger said. "Drop it on your skin tonight, and by morning, you'll be the most radiant woman in all of Yoruba land. But listen well, Morenike, for there is a rule. Once this cream touches you, you must not let a single drop of water touch your body for 3 days. No bathing, no drinking, and above all, you must stay away from the rain. If the water of the gods touches this cream, the debt must be paid." Morenike was so blinded by greed, she didn't even ask the price, or she didn't even ask How the woman knew her name. The woman smiled behind her veil. The cream is free, Morenike. I only ask that when the prince chooses you, you come back to this tree to tell me thank you. Morenike grabbed the pot and ran home. That night, she smeared the thick cold cream over her body. It felt heavy, strangely heavy, like she was coating herself in wet, suffocating clay. But she didn't care. She went to sleep, dreaming of a golden crown. The next morning, Morenike woke up and screamed, not in terror, but in joy. Her skin was incredible. It wasn't just smooth, it was glowing. It looked like polished molten gold. When she walked through the village, the world stopped. Men dropped their yams in the dirt. Women whispered in a mixture of horror and envy. Even Prince Adewale, riding by on his great horse, pulled his reins and stared at her for a long, silent minute. Morenike felt like a goddess. She felt she had finally corrected the mistake of the gods. But by the second day, the chaos began. The heat in Ile-Ife was like an oven. Morenike began to feel a thirst that was not in her throat, but in her very flesh. Her skin felt tight, as if she were being wrapped in a shrieking leather. Her mother, seeing her daughter sweating and gasping, brought a bowl of cool, clear water to wash her face. "No!" Morenike screamed, knocking the bowl away. "Don't touch me! Keep that water away!" She looked down at her arm and saw a tiny crack. It wasn't a cut in her skin. It was a crack in the cream. The cream had hardened into a shell, and it was fusing with her actual flesh. And underneath that shell, she felt something moving, something crawling, something hungry. By the morning of the great festival, Morenike was in agony. She was the most beautiful woman in the world, but she was a prisoner in a stone body. She couldn't even smile because she felt her face would shatter like glass. At the palace, the drums were thundering. Gong, gong, gong. The prince walked toward Morenike, a golden ring in his hand. The crowd held his breath. The prince reached out to take her hand. But at that exact moment, the heavens groaned. The Orishas had run out of patience. The cloud broke, and a sudden violent Yoruba rainstorm began to pour down on the dancers. Morenike shrieked in terror. As the vast drops of rain hit her golden skin, the cream did not wash away. Instead, it began to foam and sizzle like a red hot oil. "My face, my skin is burning," she cried. The villagers watched in horror. The beautiful globe began to melt. But as it ran down her body, it took Morenike's features with it. Her nose softened, flattened, and disappeared. Her eyes were slowly swallowed by thick grey liquid running down her forehead. Morenike was melting like a common wax candle in a fire. She turned and ran, blinded and screaming through the mud back to the market, after the dying iroko tree. "Help me," she wailed at the veiled woman. "Take it back. I don't want to be beautiful. I just want my face." The woman stood up and slowly lifted her veil. The crowd that had followed gasped and fell to their knees. Behind the veil, the woman had no eyes, no nose, no mouth. Her face was a blank, smooth surface of grey, featureless skin. "I gave you my beauty," the faceless woman said, her voice echoing not from her mouth but from the air itself. "And now, I have come to collect yours. You told the gods your face was common. You told the gods they cheated you. So I have come to take what you didn't want." As the rain lashed down, Morenike's body completely dissolved. She didn't die. She simply turned into a puddle of grey, sticky mud. When the rain stopped, the mud was gone. The mysterious seller was gone. But standing under the tree was a beautiful young woman. She had skin like cocoa. She had eyes like the morning dew. She looked exactly like Morenike used to look. The new Morenike walked back into the village. She wore a cold, wicked smile. She never spoke a word to Amola again. She never spoke to the prince. She just watched and waited. And they say, if you go to Ojaoba market at dusk, you see a woman selling a cream that promises to make you shine. Run. Do not look back, because she isn't looking for your money. She's looking for your face.
Thank you for listening to this tale. If you enjoyed this story, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves folk tales. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments who your favorite character was and why. Your support helps keep these stories alive. Until the next tale, stay curious, stay inspired.